Over the last few weeks, I have consistently reminded you all that I'm under the belief that we are in the accumulation phase before the real bull market begins. And so because of this, we did start a brand new portfolio, the accumulation portfolio, just to show the profits that we do receive later in the future from our purchasing efforts right now. And so recently I did make a couple more purchases in this portfolio, including Ripple, including Solana, including MATIC, including Bitcoin, and I want to walk you all through all of them, exactly how much I put into them, and the reasons in which why I did so. Now in the last video like this, I told you all the technical reasons and a little bit more of the fundamental reasons as to why I purchased some of these. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through some things that I'm seeing with their prices and with their charts that imply to me that some type of growth could be coming soon, and it's something that I want to take advantage of. And so with that said, we're not going to waste any more time at all, so let's begin. Alrighty, so here we are on my Patreon, and as you can see, yesterday at 8:54 a.m., I made some pretty solid purchases. I bought $400 of Bitcoin, 200 MATIC, 200 XRP, and 200 Solana. Now, pretty simple, I didn't really do the math on how much of each one I was buying, but I did just want to add a good bit to my portfolio. Now, I'm not really going to cover too much today about why I bought Bitcoin. You guys know that for the most part. I made a video yesterday basically saying that we are in a 4-step cycle in crypto, and that I believe the next step was going to be back towards Bitcoin, whether that means the market is falling and Bitcoin's not falling as much, or whether the market is pumping but Bitcoin is pumping the most. I believe Bitcoin is about to take some control. And so because of that, I am of course averaging into Bitcoin. So don't need to really get too deep into that. It's pretty simple, and it's, of course, just the anchor of my portfolio. But with that said, let's talk about some of these other ones and why I bought equal amounts of MATIC, XRP, and Solana specifically. So when I purchase cryptos personally, I'm usually doing it because of one of 3 reasons. First and foremost, it might just be general dollar cost averaging. I have some extra cash. I don't want to just leave it in a bank account to get eaten up by inflation, so I'm gonna put it in crypto and just kind of see what happens. The second one is going to be due to some type of fundamental change in value of the crypto itself, maybe whether it's Solana Saga coming out or something along those lines, in which I believe, this might add a little bit of value to the token. Let's just throw some money in and see what happens. And the third reason is due to what we see on the charts. I don't believe that you should just look at charts and base all of your purchases off of that, but I do believe if you can read them right and get an understanding and a feel of what they could mean for the bigger picture, it could be a fantastic opportunity to pick up some crypto at some amazing times. And in today's video, all 3 of our purchases came from the same exact reason, which historically says that some type of strong growth could happen from here. So let's start off with XRP here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So as we can see here on XRP, we are currently in a bit of a downtrend, right? Of course, consistently putting in some of these lower lows to the downside, lower highs to the downside, and a bit of a descending channel. Now, historically, this descending channel does break to the upside, but it's actually not the price or the price structure that's causing me to buy right now, but rather it's what we're seeing here on this daily chart prime oscillator. Now, you all know this is something I've been using all year for the most part, and it is absolutely one of the most accurate indicators that there is. Now, there are no magic formulas in crypto. There is not something that can just say, hey, buy this, and you buy it and it automatically goes up. But when you can get enough correlation and enough confluence between 1 or 2 indicators, then that starts to raise your chances, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Now, with this chart prime oscillator, I pay attention to 4 key things, and when those 4 key things start to flash, it's a sign that historically we're gonna see some growth soon. The first thing I look for are your yellow boxes and your oversold readings. Now think about this like your RSI, right? When you dip below that 30% threshold, that's an indication that bullish momentum might be picking up soon because the bears are getting exhausted. Now it works the same for your chart prime oscillator. Once you start to get these moments in which your ribbon is falling out of your general band, that goes to show, hey, oversold right now, things might pick back up in the short term here, pay close attention. Now the next thing that I look for are the green reversal triangles. Now these right here flash whenever things get so coiled up and so constrained that some type of explosion back to the opposite direction very well could be on the way, and of course again you'll get this little green triangle printing. Following that, what I look for are these blue circles, which are called your peak finders. These are pretty similar to your reversal triangles, and they indicate when a peak might be in, meaning that a push in the opposite direction could very well be on the way. And the final indicator that I look for from this chart prime oscillator is your bullish or bearish divergence, which is shown through the green or the blue lines to the bottom side, and of course your red and orange lines to the top side. When you are on the bottom side and you start to get this bullish divergence playing out, which you get the green line or you get the blue line, it is a major indicator that the momentum is shifting and bullishness might enter the charts incredibly soon. And when you combine all of these indicators together, historically, it almost never fails. Let me show you. So we're going to use XRP as an example. Then I'm going to show you what's happening with XRP right now. Then I'm going to show you how this does apply to Solana and MATIC very similarly. So what we can see here is, let's look at the last time we got all of these indicators flashing, which was of course right back here. As I mentioned before, we got the oversold reading, the green reversal triangle, 2 blue peak finders, and your bullish divergence all playing out within this little span from February to about the middle of March, okay? That was occurring as we were putting in these lows right about here. Now, if you would have noticed that this was going on, and if you would have noticed that we were getting all of these bullish indicators, you would have started buying here. And had you started buying anywhere in here, let's just call it right here, you would have seen a move of 60% to the top side soon thereafter. It's not just coincidence. Let's go back even further. Let's take a look at the last time before that we saw all of these flashing at the same time. Let's looky here. Green reversal triangle, oversold box, blue peak finder, bullish divergence. All played out right here, meaning they all played out right here. What happened? What happened right after that is that your price did get a move of 75% to the top side. This is not a coincidence. And so what you can see is that historically, when we see what we're seeing right now, we could very well see some growth. Now, as I mentioned before, it's not 100%, and there's nothing 100% in crypto. And so because of that, that's why I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm just putting a little bit of money in just to see, what happens? Let's see, maybe it's right and I get some gains, or maybe it's not right and I just dollar cost average on the next dump to the downside. Who cares? And so what we can see at this given point is that we are getting similar indicators to what we saw historically. Boom. If we look at this from a structural perspective, you can see here that we are in a descending channel. Descending channels historically break to the upside, and I am expecting that even with one more move to the downside here back towards 37-38 cents, that we will get this break back up towards 45 to 50 cents rather soon. And so of course that does kind of coincide quite well with what we are seeing right here, which is your oversold readings, your blue peak finder, your green reversal triangles, your bullish momentum dots, and your bullish divergence all playing out just in the last few weeks, which are again major implicators that some type of move to the upside could be on the way. Now what we're seeing from Solana right now is exactly the same. You all know that Solana is in a massive macro descending channel ever since the beginning of 2023, and that's an implication to me that we are going to get probably some stronger breakout to the upside once we do clear this. And what we're seeing on the chart prime oscillator does start to tell me, probably not a bad idea to start accumulating right now, because it could be coming rather sooner than later. What you can see here is that we did get some of our oversold readings towards the bottom of this channel, and of course, had you started to capitalize on that, say when we broke to the bottom side of it, yeah, you would have seen a nice little move back up to 40+%, but nothing too substantial. But what we're seeing right now is massive indications in which we are getting this huge drive of bullish divergence, probably the biggest that we saw since back here, which we put in back on this little drive, of course, from this low to this lower low, this low to this higher low. And as that did play out, we got this huge move to the upside for Solana, which of course was a move of over 200%. So this was probably the biggest drive of bullish divergence that we've seen so far since, again, we got a 200+% move to the upside. Now, although this is a good sign, I was waiting for some more of the indicators to start to flash, because just bullish divergence alone isn't enough for me, especially considering we very well could continue a little bit further to start to get the oversold reading. But even though without the oversold reading, we did get the green reversal triangle, and we did get the blue peak finder, both of which are the earliest indicators that say that a drive to the upside could be coming soon. So even if Solana does continue a little bit further in order to print our oversold signal and fully finish this correction, I do believe that accumulating right here, and as it does continue down, wouldn't be a bad idea, because a bounce to the upside does seem rather likely, and so of course I want to capitalize on that. Now finally, if we do go look in MATIC, we are getting some very, very similar things going on here. Of course, MATIC was in what many consider to be an ascending channel, and we all know that ascending channels do break to the downside more often than not. And what you can see here is that our first breakout target, which was 93 cents, did get reached. We tried to establish support, but we failed, and now we are seemingly on track to our next breakdown target around 74 cents. But as we are heading down towards what could be 74 cents, we're starting to get those early indications. Your oversold reading, a double oversold reading, and 2 green reversal triangles. Now we are missing a blue peak finder, and we are missing the bullish divergence. So MATIC very well could continue back down to 74 cents before this next move to the upside. But considering the fact that this is my accumulation portfolio, and this is the portfolio I add into every now and then when I think that it could be a good time, time, I'm under the belief that buying right now is a good idea, and even if it does continue down another 10-15%, it would be an even better idea to accumulate more there. My whole goal and game plan with this entire portfolio is to add these cryptos into it when I think it's a decent time, because realistically, when the bull market comes next year or the year after, whenever, when these things are 4, 5, 6x higher than they are now, I'm not going to care if I bought it at 90 cents or 85 cents. I will just care that I bought it because I noticed that it was a good time to buy it. So as you can see, our chart prime oscillator is giving us some massive signs that this could be a fantastic time to start buying some of these cryptos, and especially with what we talked about in yesterday's video, I do believe that cycling back towards some of your major altcoins and your Bitcoin position could very well be a good idea. So that's what I'm going to do, and as we do continue to see this market turn around, and as we do continue to see this market play out, I will continue to update you as much as possible. But make sure that if you do want to stay as up to date as possible, you do subscribe to the channel down below, and I will see you all very soon. Peace.